Peace, family. Let me start by saying, woman, child, and man, cosmos and earth, each one alike, each one reach one. This is how we grow. I see you, my brothers and sisters. So, right now, I'm currently limping because I sprained my ankle. It's what it is. I know there's people that's concerned, but again, it is what it is. Being in my condition and the circumstances I'm in, me not trusting the allopathic community, not trusting the pharmaceutical companies, not even trusting people around me that want to offer help, because this is me on my Gemini shit, I guess you can call it. But I wanted to, do like a daily recap of the last 24 hours. Some things have gone on, and I don't mind breaking down, but I'm going to try to essentially just say it all on a short, brief breakdown, because I got things to do. And even though I'm in this condition with this so-called sprained ankle, it doesn't stop me. And I encourage people to keep that in mind when you're living the way that I live, because even the smallest damage done to the body can make some drastic changes on how you move around. So being that is moving forward, today, before I so-called sprained my ankle, in the midst of me so-called spraining my ankle, I had to go to my storage unit, grab some more things and come back, just to restock on what I have in my tent. In doing so, I saw this random guy who had bought a space. Like he buys he buys spaces. What's the word? Like Load Wars. I don't know if you've ever seen that show, but like they be buying out spaces. So long story short, I met him, had a good conversation, and through me meeting him, he offered me a ride. He even paid me. I had to make it known, because essentially most people nowadays, they see you and they just assume, it's always free labor. And I'm starting to learn I need to start letting people know my labor isn't free, because I was just sitting in my storage unit. Like I said, he buys units, and as I was sitting in my storage unit, he bought a unit not too far from mine that cost him about $20, but he probably made like a $600 profit because of the TVs that was in there. So as he was talking to me, I was like, unbeknownst to me about his intentions on what he was doing with the unit, he basically offered me, it was better in the sun, I ain't gonna lie to you, but he offered me a couple dollars, and I said, yeah, because the world is transactional, I wouldn't mind, a couple extra dollars to, help extend, what I got going on. And he asked me what I got going on. Basically, long story short, I walked about an hour to get to my storage unit, and he was willing enough to give me a ride. Not only that, he was willing enough to give me a drink, and he gave me genuine conversation, and I'm grateful for that. Being the fact that he said he does a side hustle, which is kind of cool. And him doing that, I need to elevate my foot. Let me do that. The sprained ankle, boy, I ain't gonna lie to you. But let me say this. In the kindness of his heart, he was able to bring me back to the mall, which I'm grateful for. So in him doing that, I want to say gratitude, but also keep in mind, I brought up to him about like reselling things, and I told him I had like this Pokemon game, I think it's called like Pokemon X, and it's like unsealed, and unplayed, never been played. I would say like what I mean by unsealed is like a small rip, but it's damn near mint condition, never been opened, never been played. And I say this because I'm trying to sell it. And I brought it up to him, and he said, yeah, I'll ask my friends about what they can do and what prices they can give me. And I'm like, okay, keep in mind this world of manipulation, because I was waiting on his response, and he finally hit me back and was like, yeah, I can get it off for you for like $30 or $40, considering it's like, the seal is broken and stuff, things like that. I'm like, $30 or $40, cool. So something in my soul said, ask ChatGPT, like, go actually do your research. So I did, and I asked ChatGPT what it thought, and you'll be surprised at the number that it provided me, because it was way more than just $30 or $40. Being of this game that I had, I sent him a screenshot of what ChatGPT told me, and I basically said, this is what that proposes. Now, mind you, it made me think. It made me think, like, can you be trusted? Because I was talking to him when I had the conversation about transparency, right? And he explained to me that through transparency, you understand, someone's soul, right? Because I had a good conversation. It was like a good build. But, to me, I'm thinking, now that I did the research, and you're one that does this, right? But I did the research just by asking ChatGPT. You see how fast you can get an answer. And I'm not saying ChatGPT is right, but I know, because I looked it up outside of ChatGPT using the internet, and just said, hey, not necessarily Google, because I use DuckDuckGo. But I asked him, was like, hey, how much could I? And the estimation wasn't really off. It wasn't off at all. It was pretty much accurate with the estimation, just as what ChatGPT said, depending on, what condition it's in. So even at the least condition, I was like making $60 to $80 off the game. So I'm like, wow. You know what I'm saying? That being said, I sent it to him, and he said, wow, like he was in shock. So it just made me think, like, are you really trying to, and I'm not knocking him, he's a good person, but outside of that, throughout the day, he brought me back to the mall. Oh, sorry, I skipped the part. Forgive me, I tend to do that. But in me skipping the part, when he so-called was on the way bringing me here, I forgot something back at the unit. And before he brought me here, he took me back, and he brought up to my attention, hey, I don't have the key to get in there. One of the ladies actually helped me get inside the storage unit. So I told him, that's fine, I could just jump the fence. And I did, When I jumped the fence, I went there and did what I needed to do. But when I landed after jumping the fence, I kind of like fell and sprained my ankle. So yeah, that's how that happened. My foot kind of hurts like a mother right now. But that being said, again, I'm grateful, throughout life, again, you got to continue to create boundaries and, limitations and restrictions within your own, biofield, letting people know not to cross certain lines, such things like that. I value. And the reason why I say that is because, again, he helped me out, but then, you tried to get like a one-up on me, and I'm not saying it was his intentions, but that's what I picked up off the fact that you doing the pricing, and then you hit me up when you're the one that does this on a regular, and I'm thinking your genuine soul would give me the highest value, considering me telling him that I'm homeless, and he would help me considering the fact that he also drove me here out of his genuine kind soul. So it's like, you can't really, I'm not gonna say you can't really trust everybody you engage with, but you gotta be wary of like every move they make. Just because they smile in your face doesn't mean that's a good person. And just because they throw like angry looks in their face, and their mannerisms may be a bit like rugged or rigid, that don't mean they're a bad person. So just keep in mind, like, the flesh or the projection of the flesh, because it's not always aligned with the soul. Most likely it's not. If you live in this third dimensional realm or dimension or perspective or mindset, you get a little lost, But again, I say all that to say, keep stuff like this in mind, who you engage with. I sprained my ankle. I'm not gonna lie, it really hurts like a mother. But again, you have to learn how to manage in situations like this, because you never know when, even at your worst or even at your best, a slight, move, trip, fall, just a muscle tear and have you like damn near crippled. And y'all got to keep this in mind if the agenda and the so-called worldwide governmental control comes into play, or aka catastrophic disclosure. You know, because we already know there's a lot of shit going on geologically on the planet. Like, literally. I ain't got to go into detail about it, but I say that to say we have to keep such things like this in mind and how to move. So a lot of people done told me, hey, go to the hospital, hey, try to get some help. And I'm going to try to manage, because I've had such things like this happen before, and all I had to do is elevate my foot and just walk on a little bit, and the pain went away. But again, you know what I'm saying, condition yourself sometimes, discipline yourself when you're in situations that complicate things. And also keep this in mind, right? Star seeds, as I said before, just because they smile in your face doesn't mean they're a good person. And just because they show dark, evil mannerisms doesn't mean they're a bad person. Understand this, right? I just saw, like, my daughter's, and let me just help give y'all insight. My daughter's family doesn't necessarily vibrate with me. Like, they don't resonate with me. And that's cool. I don't really hold no hard feelings towards them. I get it. They just, you know, they have a low level of intelligence. And I say that respectfully because they're not in tune with knowing themselves. I had a conversation with this young woman not too long ago, and she was telling me how she got more things than me, how I got this, I got that, and I got a job, I got money, I got all these things, just being rude to me in a fashion. But again, I didn't hold no hard feelings. I kind of understood, because one of the last things she said, as she was talking about all the resources that she had, she said, you know, God got me. And that's the way I see, like, most of my daughter's family. Like, they believe God got them. I got myself. Like, I'm not gonna go pray to God to heal my ankle. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna figure it out, right? The God in me is gonna figure it out, because I'm going to perceive and visualize how God will handle such a situation like this. God didn't say, hey, I need to go to somebody higher than me, say, hey, let me get on my knees and be subservient and ask for your ass to come help me. No, didn't go that way. And those that took the teachings of Christ consciousness, then you would understand what I'm talking about. That being said, yeah, I saw her, right? I saw one of my daughter's aunts, and she looked me dead in my face. And as I'm limping to go to the bathroom, right, she looks away, looked me dead in my face and looked away. And as she looked away, I said, it's okay, I still value you. And I'm not even sure if you heard me, but I want to put that frequency out there. I value you. It's cool. You ain't got to, you know what I'm saying, vibrate with me, even in the conditions that I'm in. I don't hold no hard feelings. Keep this in mind. I will not forget, though. I will not forget those who ignored me while I was at my lowest. That I will not forget. And I won't hold no hard feelings, but I will be very wary of you and your tendencies or your intentions. And if you want to value and engage with me, considering of how you so-called treated me when I didn't have anything, you're going to have to come to me transparent. And that's just from me to you. And that goes for anybody, you know. And as I said to the girl, let me just keep this in mind. One of the things, the one that was so-called going off on me, I told her, I said, the one thing I had that you don't, respectfully, is my soul. As I said before, I take care of me. So I say that to remind y'all, you know, step out of this so-called psychological enslavement they created for you to, you know, find subserviency in. Because technically, if you took the time to understand, you're psychologically enslaved. Cognitive dissonance, you're not practicing neuroplasticity, which is allowing your brain, right, to elevate its own consciousness. But how you do so is through learning. Literally experiencing these things. Why do you think I'm in the condition that I'm in? Considering I didn't have a father discipline me, so I'm going to allow nature, sun, and the cosmos to help elevate me and my consciousness while I traverse this world. As I do so, I will find peace. I will find my sanity. I will find my purpose. I will find my vision. These things I'm aligning with every single day. So, again, never ever get the idea that this is complicated. Don't get me wrong, it ain't easy. But if you condition your mind to think that it's hard, you're only setting yourself up for failure. I say this out of gratitude and appreciation. And again, I know this is very long. Y'all probably ain't even reached this long to watch it. However you did, I want to say gratitude. Wherever you stopped, and maybe I'll skip it and turn it into a part two, I don't know. But I just want to let y'all know I gratefully appreciate y'all as you are for what you've done for me, whether it was just a like, a follow, somebody subscribed, however that may be. I don't ever want you to interpret, me as trying to be the iconic messenger, because that's not what it is. It's not about me, it's about we. So this is why I share these type of things, because there may be people that resonate with the issues that I carry throughout the day. And if you don't, it's cool, because you get to learn from visually watching. I know about the learning styles. You get to learn from visually watching what I go through. That way you can maintain your life better. Starseeds, keep this in mind. Again, I'm gonna say it last. Not every smile is a good person, and not every is a bad person. So just keep stuff like that in mind. I value you. Keep this in mind. Again, last thing, peace. No, I'm sorry. Protect yourself at all times with knowledge, sunlight, chlorophyll, distilled water, and 3D human-free, prolifically me, divine gene for life. Some blood, some blood, some blood. I am not black. It's not about one love. It's about whole love, peace, and abundance. Children of the future, keep this in mind. The adults. They make this world go round, but you make the sun rise and set. And if you ain't know now, you know it's your boy Pro, and I got to go. Peace, power, love, and light unto you and all that you do.